Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going to be playing some red deck wins in standard. This deck has increased popularity. I talked about it in a couple of the other videos that I've played, with the addition of Monastery Swift Spear being added to the deck. Basically, the whole game plan here is pretty simple, straightforward, is to play our creatures and threats and go face. The only thing we have for over the top power is the Thundering Raiju. I about said Raikou. The Raiju. And then getting a counter on thing, they take damage when we go to combat and attack. And Bloodthirsty Adversary, if we're flooding a little bit, sometimes playing this and paying the extra 3 when it enters allows us to recast some of these spells in our graveyard. But in terms of burn, all we really have is 4 Play with Fires and 4 Lightning Strikes to try to get us through at the end. Sometimes remove a creature that we can't deal with and go from there. Other than that, we're just all in, swinging all the time and not playing the block very often. So let's see how it does and hop into the games. Well, we have a prowess start, that's for sure. We have 3 lands, probably about as much as we want. A 4th land at some point is probably not going to be too awful. We're going to lead off with Kamano, play Swift Spear, have Play with Fire open, try, see what we're going to draw off the top, and we can go from there. Trying from the Play with Fire, if we deal 2 to them. Rye. They are playing mono red as well, so sometimes when you play in the mirror, you have to decide whether you're going to be the aggro deck or the control deck and slowly get your damage in over time. I'm going to go ahead and kind of cash in on this a little bit, knowing that this is potentially dead next turn. Also, that's really nice being able to see that land and put it on the bottom. We don't really need to Play with Fire to necessarily remove a creature next turn, as we have Lightning Strike to do that for us. They play a Kamano after a Phoenix Chick. We can assume that's their draw, because you'd think they would want to put the counter on the Chick itself. Actually, we're going to cash in with a lot this turn, most likely. So let's start with a Play with Fire. I want to see what we're potentially drawing into before I decide to all in with this Lightning Strike. 2 damage happen. They're going to take 5, go to 7. Lightning Strike can put them down more. I think I want to find maybe a haste creature, something that does a little bit more than that. It also might be fine to just hold this Lightning Strike, especially if they remove this. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold this, I think, now, just in case they play a 3-drop that I have to deal with, and also get to 1 damage in next turn. Necessary, not too incredibly worried about it. Another Phoenix Chick. These cannot block, so they're just going to swing them. They're going all out. Huh. That's fine with me. We're going to have a big attack next turn. So we can 2 them now. Lightning Strike a threat if we need to, which we might have to Lightning Strike this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if they have land 2 Lightning Strikes, we die. I can also just play this squee, attack, hold back the Swift Spear. I actually like Swift Spear attacking here, hitting. See if they go all in. Lightning Strike this down, and then flip my squee. Because there's so much power coming in. Reckless Impulse, a card that we are choosing not to play. Swift Spear. This is their only attack. Tells me that their hand's not the best. In the 7, I could go ahead and fire this Lightning Strike off, put them down to 4, and then fire, squee, or hasters are good. I want to use my mana this turn for sure. a strike here. Phoenix Chick is an incredible draw. Here. This is automatically attacking. They could double block here if they wanted to. Also can double block Squee. If I attack with one of these, I might as well attack with both because it makes lethal. Attacking with Squee alone makes lethal. They could block a token for free, block Squee, trade it off. They actually held back after going all out last turn. Now, I'm in a predicament where... I mean, they can't double block my Swift Spear. They had to block them both. Or block like that, yeah. Then I'm probably dead to any burn spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dead to anything. It's like, know what? There is no shot. That's incredible. I probably didn't play that oftenly, but that's crazy that they just didn't have anything. Get the draw. We have a lot of 1-drops, and playing this one too is not necessarily bad. Plus, we get a free look if we want it. So, I'm gonna keep. The only real questionable part about this hand is the Thundery Boy. I always forget that this, as a creature type, is a spirit. Mountain. It leaves a lot to be questioned, but it could be mono red again. Draw a mountain. That's pretty good, considering we have the top end in our hand. Pass. Hi, mountain. They are playing Prowess, so we're going to go ahead and get this off the field before it becomes a problem. We have a Squee, incredibly good follow-up after the Firebrand. When it attacks target creature defending player controls with power less than its power cannot block this turn. Playing against Prowess, that's generally going to be most turns. So we can kill the Goblin Shaman, play another Firebrand, get in for 3, or we could play Phoenix Chick, play with fire here, or we Squee, attack, but then they get treasures. I'm not sure with them playing this card, Electrostatic, and a Fable. It's like a little bit of a weird play in my opinion. I might actually just go ahead and get more power down and go ahead and get this off the board. I know it can't block anyway, but it's just a matter of I don't think they're going to block with it even if they could. One counter on a creature you control when it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than yourself. They pitch no cards. So I would assume that means mountain and plenty of things to do. They're not pitching any cards. So we're going to play Squee. Playing to whatever this could be. Probably just spot removal. Let us attack to make a token. When to remove Squee, it was time to do it before combat. Make 1/1s. Get to trade off these 3/1s for free. Probably should have saw that coming, but I'm okay with it. I'm gonna get aggressive. I'd rather be aggressive than too passive and lose because of that. This Bolt, it's exiled. I haven't seen a lot of people play Flameblessed Bolt as of late. Oro. You gave your was haste. We'll play more hasters. Force them to block them. 1/1's just gonna sit back and do blocking duty for a while. Phoenix can come in over the top. I'll play the more mana intensive one. Not close to kicking it. I will attack with this. If they want to trade it out, they can. I'd be surprised if they do, though. Maybe they have another Goro in their hand. Doesn't matter to them as much. Really need to hit a land and get this down. And start beefing up our Phoenix chick if we can. Play Kumano. I'm all sorts messed up because I don't know what they're really doing with electrostatic infantry in their hand when they've only played like one instant or sorcery spell. Here comes the second one. Gonna attack. I will not block. Actually gives me a chance to get in. The attack's loose for sure. Play this. Glittering Bolt hits 4. Going to attack, and I'm actually going to put this out of lightning strike range. I assume that's what they're playing, and then I'll put it on my 1/1 later. There goes Stormseeker. You can make a copy of it. Copy the counter. There's a good way to get in for a lot. That might explain why they attacked last turn. Give it self-haste. Don't make a copy. We can make another flyer. Put counters on. We have to cast a spell because we don't want that to flip to night for any reason. We're going to cast this, put 3. We know what Thundering Raiju is going to target. If I get away with it, I'm going to leave my 1/1 back. Actually, it's lethal, but they can just block it for free unless I put a counter on it. They could tap, make a token of this, and it comes in, and then it can block it for free either way, I believe. 2/3 coming down, so I'm actually just going to put a counter here. It still threatens the same. They have a turn to deal a lot of damage. Remove my 1/1 because I will just block. Make a copy. It's another 2/3. They put buff on what? Still a little confused why we're playing electrostatic infantry. They just seem like an aggro playing themselves. This 3/3 is probably not coming in. I had to, yeah, well, I guess it could. They have to kill me if that's the case. Because if they give it haste, which it already does, it looks like they want to target. Yeah, they're targeting it. So 3, 6. I mean, I'm gonna just block what I can. I'm gonna cast these. Hang on. Down in here. Okay. They could have just held this Devastator back and just not been as aggressive as they were. They were at 3, so even if I put in a counter on another creature, it being modified wouldn't be enough to burn them out. I go first. Bloodthirsty Adversary showing up when I don't have 5 lands in hand, but it'll come in as a 3/3, so we'll take it. 4 damage in. This flipped, 5 power in play, and a lightning strike available. Doubt this is ever blocking. If it does, we're fine with it. An attack on us. Yep. One to prove the theory that we don't think they're going to block with it. I think I want to attack, hold up a lightning strike. Yeah, that's my plan. They play anything too annoying. Well, that's annoying, but I can't really do anything about it. Whenever you attack, right? Whenever you attack, each opponent creates, or for each opponent create a 1/1. That's not great. Do I go ahead, because it'll be attacking. I might need to have to hold this lightning strike to hit that down. It'll go to 3 power. Let's not let them make a token here. So it's just a 1/4 in play. Hit a play with fire, so we'll play a Swift Spear. Turn them sideways. Like I said in the intro, all we want to do is turn them sideways. They block with anything, we're killing it. Could be untap. A lockdown would be horrible for us. It's something that they could play. Paragon's also not the best for us. That's for sure. Again, we're turning them sideways. We're going to play this. We're going to give it the buff. We're going to swing them. Give them as little time as possible to develop any board. Block there. They take 6. Any burn spell is good. Adversary is also good. Thundery Boys also good. I can modify a creature, and on attack we just kill them anyway. Brutal Cathar comes down. Exiles are bloodthirsty. The only real threat. If they attack, it's incredibly loose. It's just like no way you attack. Alright, so we're going to kill them no matter what they do now. So counter here. And they're dead. Just for clarity, we didn't really go over it in the intro. Let me move my camera here and pull up the card. Because just in case one of the games get cut. When Raiju attacks, it puts a counter on something, and then it deals damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control. And you can see what modifications is up there in case maybe you forgot or haven't played with this mechanic that much. Equipment, auras you control, and counters or modifications. So it came in, it attacked, it put a 1/1 counter on the Swift Spear, which automatically dealt them 1 damage. So even in this spot, if they had like a lifelinker, they would never get a chance. But that's another reason that Kamano's good in this deck, because putting counters on creatures early make this trigger more times without it having to put the counters on. So just in case you might not know exactly what it does, there you go. Burn, burn, and more burn. Go first. A little part of me wants to keep this. If we're in like the mirror, this is a really good hand in terms of controlling the board. We'll have to play the control deck. Land pass. Just stop under instep and auto pass turn. Do nothing, so we're just gonna hit them. Man. It's not horrible because of that, but I would rather just draw another land or draw into a threat eventually, which we end up doing. Did a reunion, so this is Reanimator. At least I think it's Reanimator. The Invoke, is it Invoke Justice? That might be right. The 4 white, 1 colorless. Do that. We're gonna go shields down here. We're gonna play a Squeak. Get it in, get 3 creatures in play, and then go from there. We did draw another land for our Thundering Raiju. Fable comes down. A little part of me wants to Fable this token out of the way, but I don't really have to. Or Fable the token out, Lightning Strike the token out of the way. I'm gonna play a Thunder Boy, and I'm going to put a counter on Squee, and then we're going to get in there for more if we can. They're still a turn away. They block a 1/1 for free. I guess they're not necessarily a turn away, but they don't have it in the graveyard right now. There's the portal, so they can attack and do it, but I think if we draw a land, they die no matter what, because we have a Shivan Devastator off the top, or they're close anyway, in which I hit them with the Shivan Devastator and then I Lightning Strike them the next turn. Actually, no, they're dead no matter what, because I can just play this for 2. Play this for 2, hit them, and then lightning strike them. So this has to be land, bring back portal, make me sack all my threats. We play this for a single one. We hit them for 1, and then we lightning strike them. That's not going to cut the cheese. We're going to play a Swift Spear. What they do, we're going to play a lightning strike. Move this. And that's going to be GG's. Post game wrap up here. Red deck just does what red deck does. You have really bad matchup, but you have also really good matchups, as we just saw in the last game that we played. If they kind of play a tap land, you get free reign to kind of do whatever you want. You get your creatures down, you hold the burn to either remove a hard threat or a planeswalker or something in general to get all the damage through, and then you call it a day. Thunder Raiju is incredibly good. You're just not very going to play it on turn 4 very consistently, because we are playing a slightly lower land count. Bloodthirsty Adversaries kind of in the same role, but being able to just play it as a 2/2 haster that sometimes comes in with a counter because the Kamano is also incredibly good. But if we top deck this late game, we flood it a little bit, have cast a lightning strike or a play with fire earlier, this card just becomes a lot more valuable. Squeeze is good as well. It kind of fits in a little bit of the same category as these two. It has the 4 mana in its lower part. If it's dead and in the graveyard, you can pay 4 and exile 4 other cards in the graveyard rather than pay its mana cost and bring it back, kind of like the escape mechanic, but doesn't have that actual keywording on it. Reckless Stormseeker, good. Never really had it turn to night. Not really going to have that pop up too often. As you're a red deck, you're always casting spells unless you want to take a turn off to let it flip to night, if you just have all burn in hand, so you could do that. Then Shivan Devastator could probably go to maybe a 2 of in this build. If I found it in a lot of spots to just be good because of the flying and haste and finishing what the rest of the deck has set up. But I could also see playing too many of these being bad, because you don't want them that early. You want to be able to have 4 lands. Just coming in as a 1/1 isn't necessarily always going to be relevant. Where in the last game it would have been, but I don't see that coming up too often. Foundries, never had one to even try in like the 4 to 6 games that we played. Same with Sokazon. Doubt you're ever really channeling this too often, but you could, so the option's there. If not, just play it as a mountain and call it a day. Don't hold on to it too much. And then Foundry, of course, kind of can help close whenever you want to go wide. But yeah, overall, the deck's just a good, solid deck. It punishes late game strategies and the kind of mid-range stagger strategies where they're trying to play triumphs. And you can just get in there and then slowly remove their threats and just constantly hit them. Other than that, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you in the next one.